I'm excited to start our series with a ballet that has always had a very deep and profound meaning to me. Kurt Jooss's seminal 1932 anti-war work, The Green Table. I was really fortunate to begin my relationship with this ballet as a young dancer in the 1980s. The Joffrey Ballet had brought the work back, and I was in the cast. I had never before experienced being in a work that had such a deep effect on me as an artist. I realized that I was part of something bigger than myself. This was a work that was much more than just beautiful dancing. It said something profound. It said something profound about the world and about humanity. For all those reasons, that's why I thought we should start our digital series right now with this work. It's unique, it's dramatic, it's powerful, it's dark, it's complicated, it's funny, and it is a complete theater work, in my opinion. Kurt Jooss, the choreographer, created the work in 1932 as part of a dance competition which he entered in France. He won the competition with this work, and he was praised by the then up-and-coming leader of Germany, Adolf Hitler. Hitler was so taken by Kurt Jooss's artistic abilities that he invited Kurt Jooss to be his choreographer for his new regime. The one caveat: the composer. The brilliant music by composer Fritz Kohn. Hitler said, "You may stay, but you must get rid of your composer," because Fritz Kohn was Jewish. Kurt Jooss refused, and with his small band of dancers, he left Germany before the Nazis really took into power. They settled in England, where he created dances for the rest of his life. In the late 1960s, Robert Joffrey thought that it was important to start presenting this work that he had seen throughout the years. And he brought it back. It was a powerful statement at that time, at the height of the Vietnam War. The ballet now is presented throughout the world. And sadly, every single time it is presented, it is no less important. Kurt Jooss created this work and based it loosely on medieval woodcuts of imagery of death. He called The Green Table a dance of death in 8 scenes, and each scene becomes a death for a different character. Indeed, the character of death is the constant throughout. And he actually becomes the dance partner of almost every single leading character in one capacity or another. Kurt Jooss started the ballet off with a table, a big green table of diplomats arguing. We don't know who is right, we don't know who is wrong, we don't know what they're arguing about, but they are arguing. And they finally declare war against each other. From that point on, the figure of death appears. And in each successive scene, we are introduced to different characters. The farewells, where the soldiers bid farewell to their families, and we're introduced to the different characters. The battle, where the soldiers lose their lives on the battlefield. The refugees, where an old mother, a young girl, and a group of women appear almost to be sailing overseas to find safe refuge. The partisan, a single woman who has lost everything in life and fights, but what is she even fighting for? The brothel, where a nefarious profiteer who throughout the ballet has been taking advantage of the deaths of others, introduces the young girl that he has stolen away from her mother. And finally, she succumbs to death also. And lastly, the aftermath, beginning with the only remaining soldier, the old soldier, who's been guarding his flag for years, but possibly no one has told him that the war has been over for years. He too finally dies, and there's a whole parade of all of the characters. Until the young standard bearer, the gleaming, dashing soldier who refuses to die appears, but death takes him too. The only character death doesn't take is the character of the profiteer, the person who profits off of the death of others. So throughout, we have these 8 different scenes. And at the very end, when there is nothing but death left, what are we presented with again? The diplomats at their table as they continue their arguments, determined to win one side or the other. But as I said before, the only real winner in war is death. Since I started with Ballet West, I knew that one day I wanted to produce the Green Table. I kept on waiting for the right time. I wanted the perfect cast. I wanted the perfect time in the world. Well, you know, no matter when you present the Green Table, there is a reason to present it. No matter what's going on in the world, this ballet speaks to us in some capacity or another. The cast you're going to see in this performance are all unique and special artists. Each one of them brought unique aspects to parts that I had such a strong relationship with and illuminated the roles in ways that I don't know if I would have ever expected. We cast almost counter sometimes. An example, the role of the old mother, played by one of our most vibrant and exciting ballerinas, Beck-Ann Sisk. Heartbreaking, profound and quiet, and a complete departure from the type of work she usually does. Ultimately, every single one of the dancers, I felt, brought the depth and power that I think is needed for this work. And that's why I couldn't be prouder of what they present. You know, the brilliant score was created by a composer, Fritz Cohen, very seldom heard. He almost exclusively composed for Kurt Jooss. His music for 2 pianos is absolute genius. In our production, we're fortunate to have 2 brilliant pianists who bring the music to life in a way that I've almost never heard before. Our music director, Jared Oakes, and our late great concert pianist, Mr. Jed Moss. Jed left us far too soon, and it reminds us why a ballet like this is always poignant and always pertinent. So in producing this ballet, we dedicate it to the loving memory of the brilliant pianist, Mr. Jed Moss.